Shane van Gisbergen was supposed to be a road course specialist. That is what everyone believed when he arrived in NASCAR. But something surprising is happening. On two of NASCAR's toughest oval tracks, he is suddenly outrunning experienced veterans. The question now is simple. Is NASCAR witnessing the rise of a completely new oval threat? When van Gisbergen first arrived in the NASCAR Cup Series, most people expected him to succeed on road courses. After all, his reputation was built in the Supercars Championship, where he became one of the most accomplished drivers of his generation. His aggressive style, incredible car control, and ability to manage tires made him a superstar in Australia and New Zealand. But NASCAR presents a very different challenge. The majority of races take place on oval tracks, and mastering those circuits has historically been one of the biggest hurdles for drivers coming from international racing backgrounds. Because of that, many fans and analysts labeled van Gisbergen as a road course specialist. The assumption was simple. He would win or contend when NASCAR visited road circuits, but struggled to match the pace of experienced American drivers on ovals. That narrative seemed logical at the time. After all, even talented drivers from other disciplines have needed years to become comfortable racing side by side at high speed on NASCAR's tight oval tracks. But something unexpected has begun to happen. Instead of slowly learning the ropes while finishing deep in the field, van Gisbergen has started delivering results that are forcing the racing world to take a closer look. His performances at two difficult oval tracks have become one of the biggest stories leaving the desert and the southeastern racing circuit. At Atlanta Motor Speedway, van Gisbergen delivered one of the most impressive runs of his young NASCAR career. Atlanta is not a typical oval. The track features steep banking and produces pack-style racing where drivers run inches apart at high speed. The constant drafting battles demand precise positioning, quick reactions, and the confidence to move through tight gaps in traffic. For a driver still adjusting to NASCAR equipment, Atlanta can be an intimidating place. Veterans with years of experience sometimes struggle to keep their cars stable in the turbulent air created by the pack. Yet van Gisbergen looked calm and composed throughout the race. Lap after lap, he worked his way forward through the field, showing a level of comfort that surprised many observers. When the race ended, he crossed the line in 6th place. For some drivers, that result might seem like just another solid finish, but for a newcomer adapting to NASCAR's most unpredictable form of racing, it was a powerful statement. The finish immediately sparked conversations among commentators and analysts who began wondering if the New Zealander was progressing far faster than expected. Still, one race alone is never enough to change perceptions in NASCAR. Drivers need to prove that strong performances can be repeated at different tracks under different conditions. That opportunity arrived the following week at Phoenix Raceway. Phoenix is one of the most technical ovals in the entire series. Unlike the high-speed drafting environment at Atlanta, Phoenix is a flat 1-mile track that demands precise braking, careful throttle control, and smart tire management. Drivers must constantly adjust their line through the unique dogleg section of the circuit while protecting their tires during long green flag runs. Many experienced NASCAR drivers consider Phoenix a thinking driver's track. Raw speed alone is not enough to succeed there. The race often becomes a strategic battle where positioning, patience, and understanding of the car's balance determine the outcome. For van Gisbergen, Phoenix represented another major test. Critics were watching closely to see whether his Atlanta result was simply the product of pack racing chaos or a sign of genuine oval racing skill. Once again, he delivered. Throughout the race, he remained competitive against some of the most accomplished drivers in the sport. He navigated restarts confidently, handled the tight corners with precision, and managed his tires well enough to stay in contention during long runs. By the end of the event, van Gisbergen secured an 11th place finish. Two strong results in back-to-back weeks might not sound extraordinary at first glance, but context is everything. These performances came against a field filled with seasoned NASCAR veterans who have spent their entire careers mastering oval racing. More importantly, van Gisbergen was not simply surviving these races. He was actively competing with drivers who have won championships and hundreds of races across the sport's history. That reality is beginning to shift the conversation around his NASCAR career. For months, the common narrative was that van Gisbergen would be dangerous on road courses but struggle elsewhere. The phrase road course ringer followed him everywhere he went. While the label acknowledged his skill, it also suggested limitations. Now that narrative is beginning to fade. What fans and analysts are witnessing instead is a driver who appears to be learning oval racing at an unusually fast pace. His background in touring cars has given him exceptional car control, and that skill is translating well to NASCAR machinery. When the car moves around underneath him, he seems comfortable adjusting his driving style rather than fighting the vehicle. Another factor helping his transition is race intelligence. Van Gisbergen has built a reputation throughout his career for reading races carefully. He understands when to push aggressively and when to conserve equipment for later stages. That ability is extremely valuable in NASCAR, where races can stretch well beyond 300 miles and strategy often determines the final result. Communication with the team also plays a major role. Drivers rely heavily on feedback to engineers and crew chiefs throughout the race. Drivers must describe how the car behaves in different phases of the corner so adjustments can be made during pit stops. Van Gisbergen's ability to provide clear and detailed feedback has impressed many within the garage. That communication allows his team to improve the car throughout the race, helping him remain competitive even as track conditions change. These qualities are helping him close the experience gap that normally separates newcomers from established stars. His recent performances have also sparked excitement among fans who enjoy seeing international talent succeed. The sport has occasionally welcomed drivers from around the world, but few have adapted as quickly as Van Gisbergen appears to be doing. If he continues improving at this rate, the implications could be significant. Drivers who can perform well on both road courses and oval tracks become extremely valuable. The championship format rewards consistency across many different circuit types. Being competitive everywhere gives a driver far more opportunities to collect points and contend for wins. For Van Gisbergen, proving that he can handle ovals opens the door to a much bigger future in the series. Instead of being viewed as a specialist who excels at a handful of races each season, he could emerge as a driver capable of challenging for victories at multiple track types. That possibility is beginning to attract serious attention. When a new driver starts outrunning established veterans, people notice. Crew chiefs begin studying data. Drivers pay closer attention to where that car runs during the race. Van Gisbergen is reaching that stage now. His pace at Atlanta and Phoenix shows that he is no longer simply learning the basics of oval racing. He is beginning to understand how to position his car in traffic, how to use the draft effectively, and how to manage tires during long runs. Those are the core skills required to succeed. Every race adds more experience to that foundation. As the season continues, new challenges will emerge. Tracks like intermediate speedways and short tracks will test different aspects of his driving ability. Each circuit demands its own approach and rhythm, but if the early signs are any indication, Van Gisbergen is ready for that challenge. The most exciting part of his story is that it still feels like the beginning. Drivers often need multiple seasons before reaching their full potential. Van Gisbergen is only just starting his journey in the series, yet he is already producing results that place him among the most intriguing drivers to watch.